Yeah. Okay, well, we'll let them trickle and we'll start getting some updates. And if there's any motions that we need, then, we'll email those or have them at later on the meeting. So I'm going to call it to order at 11:05. Oh, sorry, 1:04. Still used to the other time. And is there anyone who would like to do the pledges of allegiance? Or should we move to that? Okay, we'll move. I know we've been moving through it from the last few months, so we'll do this one as well. Guillermo, you already have done the roll call, right? You've already done the roll call so far. Public comments. I'd like to open it up item 4 for public comments.
Yeah, I'm doing roll call as people come in, so I got that.
Thank you, Guillermo. Well, actually, before that, I just want to say something. Thank you all for joining us for this meeting. We're missing some board members right now. We'll let them trickle in. But let's start now with the public comments. Is there anyone from the signed up for the public comments today? No one? Okay, and then I guess moving on to the next section would be approval of the minutes. You can review those on your emails.
Okay, I haven't sent out any minutes for the last meeting, so we're gonna have to get those in on the next one. JJ and John just texted me that they're finishing up another meeting. They're gonna jump on when they finish. It should be a couple of minutes. And Bobby Gonzalez just texted me, oh crap. So I'm pretty sure he's going to try to jump on here in a little bit.
Okay, I'll slow it down and I'll give us a little bit more, then a little more time for them to join. The minutes, you're saying that you're going to send them in a bit also, or?
For the next one, I didn't have a chance to finish them up.
Okay. How was the event? Morgan was there, whoever was there.
I think Memo actually would probably be the best. He was the one listening to us. I don't know. When I looked back at the Facebook Live, I was like way too enthusiastic. Like I need to not have caffeine next time at the next meeting. I'll decaf only. But it went well. No, I think it was everyone was super receptive and excited about the ideas. So I do think it went.
I think it went well and very good comments. And people want to get involved in this council. So we have actually I'm gonna comment. I'm gonna say that in my report, but we have the second meeting this afternoon.
Right. Actually, I'm gonna ask Karen if she's gonna be joining. Yeah, and what type of or who showed up for the meeting? I didn't get to see too much on the footage from those angles.
The signing documentation here we have 10 plus people. People from Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. We have like three persons. Javi Alonso was one of them. We have people from the city, from health department, doctor's hospital, SAMU, LISD, UISD, Catholic Church, Bethany House, La Bodega del Cuervo, Gateway Community, UT Health, Food Bank, of course, Mayor, LCC people, Obi from Capataz, of course, all of us from El Quas. We had a very good attendance.
Yeah, sounds like
Betty Flores, former mayor. She also attended our meeting.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Well, there was a good attendance. I'm curious, their kind of like the interpretation of everything. And, I'm excited for today to kind of see the next steps as to some of those goals that were laid out. Especially like a few weeks later, you start getting those wheels turning, and curious to see what ideas have come up since then, and how we can support that, right, with our research.
We will have 2 meetings in May in order to have a good structure, a good compelling project, and then 1 per month. That's the plan.
Right, we needed to play catch up, right, on one of them.
Yeah. So we'll have 1 today, and probably the next one is 2 weeks from now.
Right. I spoke to someone actually 2 days ago who built this huge hydroponic tomato farm in Mexico, and they were exporting a lot to the United States, and they were selling them McAllen and things like that, just doing really well in Mexico. And then some of the last administration's policies from the export, it killed a lot of businesses over there, and it created some opportunities in the United States, but I think now it's kind of been reverted so that we're now importing again. I'd like to see kind of what some of the needs are, in terms of trade in agriculture, if we want to try to find something, sustainable for revenue wise, right, for the gardens and stuff and such, so that we can have enough capital to donate food as we go on, and maybe even attract investment or donations into the gardens. So I guess my question, kind of moving forward, right, would be, what are some of the needs, either regionally or maybe internationally, something that we could supply.
So I see Javi Alonso is here for the first time, right, in the meeting. I've seen him in the.
Sir, that's correct. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's a new volunteer in the garden.
That's correct. Yeah.
You might want to talk about the. Yeah, we might want to talk to them about the collaboration that we're doing.
Yeah, definitely. If I could have the open floor for a bit, just 5 minutes, just so I could share out some info. So yes, Jose has given me the opportunity. I am the new extension agent with A&M AgriLife Extension. So right now I'm overseeing the West Zapata counties. And my main focus is going to be the community garden aspect. So right now, Jose has given me the opportunity to start my sessions with the Canseco garden. And we're on session 1. So we're going to be giving out a 6 series course, all free. It's open for all the community. And the sessions are going to keep on going. So if the volunteers or the members come to us for 6 sessions, they'll be able to get a certification. Our program is funded by USDA, WEB, and the A&M system. So we do have some platform to supply some material for any future projects that you might have in mind, supply some material to build those gardens. As far as Zapata right now, I'm proud to say that I was able to start the first community garden there. Today will be my first session. But we have several projects going on as far as agri-extension. You guys, if you'd like to start any projects in the future, feel free to reach out. And right now, yes, like Mr. Jose said, we're working in collaboration to continue bringing these classes to our community and increase awareness of community gardening and sustainability.
Sounds like a perfect partnership.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're basically combining our gardening course with his curriculum from Texas A&M. So yeah, it's good. It's a very interesting partnership.
Definitely. Actually, I wanted to ask you, Jose, about I guess I'll for your report, but yeah, I mean, I've been seeing the media on on those courses on the weekends and the KGNS and everything.
Yeah.
That was great.
At this point, we have had 3 sessions because of weather. We had to cancel 2 sessions actually because of the weather. So far we
We'll have you joining you on the next sessions.
You want to join? Of course, man.
It's open for all. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think
everyone here is super invited, double invited.
Yeah, we've been talking about the opportunity of recording these sessions and even getting the reach much higher by recording them, having them on YouTube, creating a series. And so your structure behind curriculum, I think, would also be an incredible contribution to this. And whatever resources you need from us in terms of production equipment or advertising dollars, we want that education portion to come out. Because kind of like what you were saying right now is the community garden element is definitely feasible in Laredo and really in many areas, but the education component is missing, right? Just knowing how to go about some of these things. So we've even created a program where we'll give you everything you need, right? So if you don't have the $100 or whatever it is to create your own garden at home, if you come in and volunteer, then we'll even give you that portion. So it's comprehensive, and we want to connect with more people like you to get the education out there. Such a big portion.
Yeah, and our students are very happy, right? Having very
motivated, engaged.
Yeah. I'm feeling very good about that. And also probably this next comment in public comment, because it's not actually in the report, because we just finished that today. Even though we can't, we don't know what's going to happen next Saturday, but it's with the farmers market. But even though we will promote between El Cuas and the farmers market, we'll promote it in La Raza 90.9 with 20 spots. And I'm going to be in an interview tomorrow morning. And then Nidia Robles from Farmers Market will be in the afternoon. So promoting the farmers market in El Cuas.
Perfect.
That's not in my report, but I put it on public comments, right?
That's fine. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Farmers market also an incredible partner, and so I'm glad this is really coming together like this. We have the education portion, and then we have the sales. We do need to make this self-sustainable as much as possible, right? I know for the last 2 weeks, I asked Jose to look to focus on grants as funding is coming up, and we want to make sure that we're doing all that we can to make this a self-sustainable organization. Of course, we're going to ask the city to help us, and we want to show that we're doing all we can to find ways for our own funds, right? Selling some produce, giving away some produce, of course, because we want to also help our community, finding grants nationally, and so I'll talk to you about pretty soon. So I'm going to move on to the president's report. That way, I know we have quorum right now, and I know, Coach, thank you for joining us. John, you all are busy in meetings and everything, so I'll keep this moving. For the president's report, I just wanted to say, apologize for missing the meeting last week. I was really excited to go. We had even discussed everything the night before, and that same night, I received a call from my family that my father was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and immediately, we left over there to go see him. He lives in Harlingen, and so I really want to be with you guys there. Obviously, family takes precedent, and I want to hear all about this, and it also, being out there with him and maybe really appreciate what we're doing, right? It's accumulation of poor lifestyle choices across several decades, and these things do add up. So I think what we're doing is incredibly important in terms of produce and nutrition and just organic lifestyle and kind of going back to our roots as a human, right? So I have this kind of newfound energy for what we're doing, and I just wanted to share that with y'all as fellow teammates on this. So with that, I think, with kind of it made me really think also a lot about our purpose. I want to really drill down on that, here with a couple of board members, sit down somewhere, maybe go out for like a Starbucks, without meeting quorum, and really, define and build some campaigns to really get, the reach out there, really help people understand what we're trying to do, how they can contribute to this. Organize our purpose and even like, the other day I was having trouble finding our meeting minutes, sorry, not our meeting minutes, our articles of incorporation on how we're supposed to be going about, kind of just certain movements within the organization. So, I'd really like to sit down with a couple of y'all and organize some of our thoughts, some of our goals and our ambitions, what we'd like to do. Maybe like sometime next week, Starbucks will send me a message if you're interested in that. I won't put you on the spot here. And then also with the grants, again, just kind of reiterating with Jose, I've asked him to look into more grants. So he's going to have a report on that. And also very exciting is the Food Policy Council. That's, becoming a very large part of this, I think, in terms of our outreach and really connecting the community. So if you have an opportunity to join tonight, please do, or today at 4. If you need any invitation details, I'm happy to forward that to you. And if you have anything that you want to start, right, see this organization also as a catalyst for whatever you may be thinking. If you want to create a certain project, look to us for a way to help you build that, right? Especially volunteers that you're there day in and day out, working on the gardens. If you need anything, I want you to feel comfortable reaching out to us and getting what you need to make this a better experience. Thank you all. With that, I'll move forward to the Secretary's report.
All right, thank you, Roger. I spoke to you last week, and I just want to reiterate, I did speak to my mother about your dad, and the reason why I say that is because my mom has a hotline with the big guy up there. So she lit a candle, she said some prayers, she's including him in her daily, or are we kidding, in her hourly rosary. My mom says a rosary every hour, so it seems. So, he's going to be fine. He's going to get better.
Thank you so much, Guillermo. I appreciate that.
So, going back to LCUAS, I did want to bring up that our member, let's see, James Kirby Snideman is is on his way out of the city. He put in his notice of resignation. So we have 2 board spots open. One of them is the Planning and Zoning Department because of Mr. Snideman. I guess if you guys authorize me, I can make contact with the Planning and Zoning Commission, see who they will be appointing as their representative for the committee. And then we still have that position open, Marcela's position, which is from the academic sector. I did contact Roseanne Palacios from TAMIU, as we had discussed a couple of meetings ago. And she said that they have Dr. Claudia San Miguel, who's the Dean of College of Arts and Sciences, and she would be delighted to learn about LCUAS and possibly serve on the board. And so that's something that I guess us as a board need to talk about if we want to actually extend an invitation to her. If we want, how do we do that? We need to, I think Roger and I were talking about it, we need to come up with, I guess, a way to bring in officially new members to the board. How do we do it? Some of them, based on our articles of incorporation, some of them have to be from an actual city entity, which is why myself, Mr. Porter, Mr. Gomez, Mr. Snideman are on the committee, but everyone else is from a sector. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up for discussion. We don't have to. We're not going to make a decision today, but it's something to think about. First of all, we have somebody interested from TAMIU to become part of the organization. And do we want to do that? And how do we do that?
I know Dr. San Miguel is also running a community garden on TAMIU's campus. So I know that I've seen her out there a few times. I've gone. And so I think that that definitely speaks to her interest. And as long as I don't think we'd be competing for the same grants, right? That would be my only point of concern. But I don't think their funding would be different.
Yeah, there might be some overlap, but I think the collaboration will probably be more valuable than the competitive side of grants.
Yeah, I don't see it like a competition. I mean, we are in the same battle in terms of gardening and urban agriculture.
Yeah,
we are collaborators. Yeah,
I think some more on the grant side that we might sometimes be applying for the same grant and maybe there's limited.
Yeah, and well, actually, I was about to talk about grants. I'm in contact with the Office of Research and Sponsor Projects from TAMU because, as you may know, I worked there for 8 years. So I have good friends there, and I would like to bring them to the table, as well as the City of Laredo and Health Department, AgriLife Extension, and all this, the Food Council to be able to develop or make a compelling project and apply for this big project, this big grant of USDA that just got opened last week. May 5, they opened 2 big grants. The deadline is June 21 or June 21st. So actually my plan is to be next week in TAMU and start working on that.
Right. Definitely. I think in the point of kind of how we go about filtering or just kind of taking into consideration what type of board member we want on our board. I think that is kind of goes back to something where I want to really define what we're looking for, right? And maybe in a meeting or a couple of meetings, right? If we're trying to have a certain purpose and a certain goal, then that requires certain board members from the ones that we do have control of deciding, right? Like Guillermo said, the sector side. On the private side is where we can actually choose who we, what person we want for those positions. I think if we look at it holistically, right? Do we? And this is where it comes down to: do we want do we want Dr. San Miguel, or do we want the dean from of education? Right? It's something that we really have to look at holistically. What's going to help us most as a board with our goals? So let's define those goals, right? And in that same breath, I think we can also define which board members would fit really well with our board. If anyone has any other thoughts, it's the time to.
No, I think that's very well said. And it's hard to make decisions unless we know what we're deciding against. So I think that's very well said.
Thank you.
Yeah, and do we have anyone else from LT, or we just go to TAMU?
Hi, yes, this is Karen Gaitan from City Makery. Apologies for being late, but just jumping in right now.
Hey, Karen, thank you for joining us.
Sure thing.
Congratulations on the event.
Oh, thank you. The kickoff meeting was a great success. I just jumped in, so I'm not sure what item we're on, but we have our follow-up meeting today at 4, so just we can talk about it. When there's an item for more items.
Okay. Yes, we made an item for you, Food Policy Council Partnership Report. So definitely will.
Excellent.
Yes. Right now we're with Guillermo's Secretary Report. Guillermo, is there anything else you would like to add?
Yes, it sounds like we are going to consider Dr. San Miguel, but we need to maybe come up with some goals before formally offering and extending an offer. That sounds what it is.
That sounds about right to me.
It can go either way. Whatever us as a board decide, I'm sure it's going to be fine. We can offer her. We can invite her to the next meeting so she could, at least watch some of the meetings, and maybe petition to become a board member. I'm I just, I think we're all in the same boat here. You know, I think we have definitely want what's best for the board, but you know, I do have some sort of hesitation in offering someone a board member position without A, knowing if they want it, B, you know, knowing all the parameters and, you know, and God, I wish we could kind of just put an ad in the paper and see who wants to become a board member and, you know, be able to choose some applicants, but we're not there yet. So this is where we're at, and that's kind of why I wanted to have this discussion. But nevertheless, out of 11 board member positions, we have 6 people at the meeting today. And of course, you know, we all know life happens and we expect that, but we really only have 9 filled positions as of Monday. So I'm gonna go ahead and end my report with that. You know, we can think about it.
That's such a great point. We are missing some board members here at the meeting, and that's, something we need to be careful with. Who's going to be active, or at least be able to help us make sure that we can get quorum to make decisions. And so, yeah, we want to be careful with who we bring in. And so thank you for bringing that up and for being receptive to some of these ideas. Moving on to the treasurer's report. Bobby's not in the meeting. I know something may have happened, so we'll have them send those over by email. Next is the volunteers report. Morgan.
So Bobby and I are supposed to meet regarding the kind of the vegetable selection for the upcoming few seasons. I know that when I spoke with the gardeners, so I have the gardeners' input now, and it's basically, trying to find some of those, making sure that we cover our core items because they're going to sell well at the farmers market, and it's what we need as kind of home gardeners. And then, working with our restaurant partners to maybe provide some of the specialty items like, purple peppers or, microgreens was another suggestion for options to create kind of a really beneficial opportunity for our restaurant partners, potential partners, and the garden. Microgreens especially, because I think it talks a lot about, we can make a lot very easily, and it doesn't need as much intensive care as some of the other vegetables that we grow.
You can harvest every 2 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're very nutrient intense. They also communicate like a level of dining quality. I think that's a little bit more high end as well. So I do think that when I discussed with the other gardeners, we came up with some good ideas. I just need to hear back from Bobby as to what he thinks of those ideas, because I obviously don't know what his needs are. So that's going to be the next step. And it's just, he's a busy guy. So, but we're in contact and we'll hopefully get that meeting done.
We'll need to think about that.
I hang out there every Wednesday. I never see him. Anyway, the other thing is that, for the farmers markets, what I'm hearing from the volunteers, and again, if you guys are free on Saturdays, we need more help manning those farmer market stalls. So obviously we're all volunteers. It's not like we're getting paid to be there. It is a labor of love. And right now our core group of volunteers is going to shrink dramatically. Several of our members are from TAMU faculty members, and they usually leave for the summer. So if you guys don't mind sweltering, just put on some sunscreen or wear some long sleeve shirts and come out and help us.
Yes, please.
Can I interject there just real quick? Priscilla with the farmers market. And I just wanted to give you guys another option because I know volunteers is always something we all struggle with. It's just difficult, getting people on a Saturday, to go out there. So an option that we've always given to all of our vendors, but specifically the farmers that we have, is that we have a community booth. So if at any point, for whatever reason, you all didn't have volunteers to man that day or whatever, we can pick up the produce the day before or the morning of, if we can schedule something with you all. You guys give us your prices. We will sell it there at the market for you. We keep a log of everything that's sold and for how much and all that stuff. And then at the end of the day or on the Monday after, we'll let you know, look, this was sold, you know, and we can make arrangements that way. So there's always that option there at the farmer's market. Obviously, having you all there would be great because you can give more information about the program and the garden. And sometimes our volunteers don't have that knowledge to do that. So, but if there wasn't that option there for you, that is something that we could provide to you all, like as LCUAS, so just so you're aware.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Priscilla.
It's good to know that.
Yes, thank you very much. That's good information. I was not aware that there was a community table. And that would make it, that, like I mentioned, it just relieves some pressure on. There's there's like 4 people who are really, really consistent. And it'd be nice to let them know that they can take a Saturday off occasionally. And also, I don't know if Coach is still on here, but I think he's the one who facilitated the refrigerators, right? So that was big help. So big, really appreciated that. It was a big concern of ours as far as like, again, kind of intensity from the volunteer standpoint, and this will give us a lot more flexibility.
Yes,
Thank you.
That's actually in my report also, but yeah, thank you for bringing it on. Thank you, Coach. They even had to build a small shed next to our greenhouse. We have three fridges there. I think one of those 3 is not working correctly, but I already made the report with Victor Navarro, so we're on it. We're on that. But we do have 2 working right now.
Thank you for that, Coach. I mean, sustainability, right, over our food, making sure it lasts. It's a big part of that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's very important, man.
Yeah, and so that's where we are with the volunteer report. Again, just wanted to highlight the benefit of Jose's program. There are so many more people involved in the garden now through his leadership, including the Boy Scouts troop. It now took over a bed, which has been phenomenal. They're doing a great job. And yeah, I think that's really it. Like we're barely excited. But yeah, summer's going to be hard for us just because we lose several members, parents through with summer break, TAMU members. So if you guys know of anyone who has some extra time on a Saturday, doesn't mind coming out, just please keep pushing, share the post on Facebook and Instagram, please. That's my only request.
That's huge. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Morgan. We appreciate the report, and thank you for following up on that idea. We were thinking, a few weeks ago, just how do we make sure that we're choosing the right produce? So I really appreciate you following up with Bobby on that, and connecting the restaurant industry as a potential buyer for us, a major buyer. It's going to be huge. So thank you for that. And then really, you're the ones doing the work for it, right? So we really need your input and. Of like what you're willing to work on, right? If it's something too fragile, we don't want to be, causing more pain than necessary. So, thank you for your input on that, for all of your hard work, for really helping us lead the volunteers. And, with the summer coming up, and, appreciate you bringing that up. Maybe Jose and I can work on a campaign for these volunteers. Although I think, the best thing is really the classes, showing them so that they feel comfortable enough to work on it. So we'll allocate some more ad dollars behind that, and especially once we get those videos in place and really show people what it means to be there on a weekend, and how, maybe easy or how hard it may be to develop a garden. I think it'll be inspiring. So Jose and I will also do something together next week to try to bring.
You guys are part of any other groups? I know Jose brought the LULAC women's group, right, to the garden, and they actually ended up donating to our garden. So any groups that you guys are a part of, Girl Scouts, church groups, just let us know, and we can coordinate a date, because that's another, like you're saying, I think the fun part of going to the garden is, weeding and gossiping, right? It's just because it goes by so much faster. So bringing groups of people has really been successful for us in the past. So yeah, if you guys are part of any group whatsoever, Jose has done a great job of inviting people. Maybe that's just me, but I love that. Like just gossip and garden. It's so much fun.
Very nice. Like that gossiping garden. Thank you, Morgan. With that, we'll move forward to the for the executive director's report. Jose.
Okay, very good. So I would like to share my screen so I don't miss anything important here. Okay, I'm gonna divide my report in three or four sections. The first one is summary of activities. Well, seeing there, with the help of Able City and City Makery, we held the Food Policy Council. Thank you, Karen. I know she's on this agenda, so I'm gonna let her talk about that in a bit. But yeah, thank you to Laredo College and all the people who were involved in this initiative and who are still involved and are gonna be in the meeting today in the afternoon. Like Morgan said, both gardens are looking good. Thank you very much to our gardeners, and right now we're getting ready for summer planting season. Our spring harvest season continues. Thank you very much to the coach for those 3 matches. Our farmers market relationship is strong. I think there's Priscilla. We can talk about that. Hopefully, we'll have the farmers market this Saturday. Like I mentioned before, in the beginning of the meeting, we will have some spots on air today, tomorrow, and Saturday. In case we have the event in La Raza 90.9, we have 2 interviews with them tomorrow. So I hope we have a good turnout if the rain allows us to have it, right? On April 25th, we had the health market with the help of La Bodega del Cuervo. This is an estimation, but I think we had like 100 plus people in the garden between vendors and visitors. We had a good turnout. We talked a little bit about the sessions, about our classes with the help of Javi. We have partnered with Texas Tribal Life and Better Living for Texas. So that's awesome. I'm very happy for that. Some important days in May. Bueno, pues today, the next meeting, today at 4, the farmers market, Saturday. Now our next class will be the 22nd. Oh, on the 29th, we have an important visit from LISD and the Rio Grande International Study Center. We'll have like 20 people, around 15 to 20 people visit our garden and have some hands-on activities there. They are very happy with what they're seeing in social media. So that same day, a couple of hours after that, we have the health market with La Bodega del Cuervo and other vendors as well. So, I mean, we have been very, very busy, but I'm very happy with the results. Another section, donations. Okay, we had so far these donations. Lula La Flor, like Morgan said, they donated $100 worth of plants for their session. And EIGS Global Interchanges, they paid for one portable restroom on the whole market. Brendan Robert Calderon, 2 new volunteers, donated 1 brand new chiller. So I'm very happy with that. And some grants that we have on the scope. I applied for 5,000 sponsorship from HEB Community Investment. I also submitted a form to the Target Foundation. Haven't received anything from them yet, but I mean, I'm trying. Tractor Supply also applied for $5,000 in sponsorship, in kind or money-wise. I applied to a grant in the National Garden Bureau, the Therapeutic Garden Grant. Hopefully, if they select us, they will follow our activities. They actually, how that works, they select 3 gardens around the country, and it's like a social media competition, and that's very fun, and they give us some money for that, and we report some results from them. The Stanley Smith Horticulture Trust, that's a big trust. I requested eligibility, and they actually replied yesterday. We were approved, so we are eligible right now. So it's a matter of writing a letter of intent of inquiry and then work with them to see what we can do. We can probably request from 10 to 20 grand from them if we write a good project. Also, next week I have a deadline. The Urban Agricultural Resilience Program, it's due the 20, I guess, más o menos 19 or 20, and I'm working on that, so I will have the application ready for them before that day. And the one big project that we have from now to June 21st is the USDA grants. There's 2 open. I think we can try to focus on one and bring everyone to the table, the city, the health department, TAMIU, the council, Able City, everyone involved in one grant and one big project and try to fight for those funds. So that's my report on grants.
Before we move on from the grants, can you just
Yes,
see us
yes.
on those? So that way, you have a pretty nice board, and we'd be happy to have some input on that to make sure you're having the best application that you can get. I trust that you're doing some incredible things, so we should be good. But let's try to maximize the board input, and
Yeah, sure.
I think we're a very unique type of organization, with some very unique members. And it's a unique structure, and I want to make sure it's being highlighted, in those applications.
Totally. Absolutely.
Thank you
Okay.
for going through all of this.
Also, Jose, it would really help me if I could get copies of those applications, like Roger was saying, because every 6 months, twice a year, I have to make a report that goes to the mayor and the city council about, about the organization. So if I could, use some of the wording that you have in there from your grants to explain what we're applying for, it would definitely help us in the long run.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I'll forward
Fantastic.
to you. Very good.
So I want to say fantastic job. Thank you for getting on that immediately. And
So you will hear from me next week because we need to apply to that USDA grant that we select. So you will get phone calls and emails and WhatsApps and everything from us. Okay, so be ready.
Definitely.
It's the two upcoming important projects that I want to share with you today. Project one is with the Eagle Scout. The Eagle Scout candidate, Brandon Lopez. He wrote a proposal. He signed it, and the proposal is now with the managers of the Eagle Scout organization. So basically, the idea is that they are gonna manage a small plot in our garden, but also they will plant around 12 to 15 fruit trees in Canseco. So I've been in communication with Mr. Navarro from the city, from Parks, and he's helping us with that too. So everything looks good in that project. Probably in the next week or two, we'll have a good notice and we'll move forward in that project. The next project is the vegetable garden at Holding. That's why I invited Alec from Red Wing United, and probably he wants to jump in the conversation. I don't know if he's still in the conversation, but we want to develop a vegetable garden at Holding. Basically, Red Wing United is donating their infrastructure, their beds, the raised beds, because they want to donate that. But our participation as ELCUAS, as Sustainability and Urban Agriculture Center, we will put soil and plants or expertise to make it happen. So at this point, Alec, please introduce yourself.
Sure. Thanks for having me on. Thanks, Jose, for inviting me. Red Wing as an organization is dissolving, but we have all this infrastructure that we don't want just to let go to waste. We've got about $2,000 to $3,000 worth of gardening equipment that we are giving over to Holding. For those, I'm sure everybody's familiar, but for those of you who may not be, Holding feeds something like 300 people a week, and they do so, totally out of their own budget. They also have a mind for progress. So the director, Mike, who's just an overwhelmingly productive person. The things that they're able to do with how little they have is just incredible. But they are 40% solar powered, and they have like 2 Tesla batteries that power up the institute. So they're doing some pretty cool stuff. One thing that Mike wants to do is looking at, as quote unquote crazy as using cricket farming as a method of alternative and sustainable sources of protein. You can go to HEB right now and find protein cricket bars. But of course, what they really want to do right now is just grow fruits and vegetables that they can then use in their own kitchen. And they have a kitchen there. It is not like a commercial kitchen with like the big long ovens and anything like that. It looks like a regular kitchen, and yet they're still able to feed 300 people a week. And so I'm sorry.
3 meals a day. 3 meals a day for that amount of people. Yeah.
Right. And so it's just incredible what they do. And some of this food is going to refugees that are being brought to the facility by ICE and BP. But a lot of them are also just Laredo citizens that either because of their immigration status or because of maybe it's not enough, can't get all of their food at like the food bank. And so they do really, really incredible work. We have so far given them wheelbarrows, tools, pavers, and probably the most expensive thing were pre-constructed beds made out of red cedar, which is the best wood you can use for gardening beds. We rented a big U-Haul. We transported everything over there over a weekend, and it's all there. And so all that's left to do is to kind of stick them in the ground and then put the soil and the compost in them, kind of begin to aerate them, and then they're good to go. Something that is a big advantage that they have is they're never hurting for volunteers. Either the people that are staying with them or the people who live in Laredo are always there working. And so for them, they just need help kind of getting it started materially, and maybe some help getting it started in terms of like what to do knowledge-wise. But I think if the board is able to do this, I think it's going to be some of the best bang for your buck in terms of using local food systems to feed the people that need it the most. So with that, I'll pass it over back to Jose.
Yeah, at this point, I'm requesting, if possible, we can spend we got a quote from La Fecha. It's between $500 and $600. I mean, if we can pay a part, if El Quas can pay a part, and I don't know, we have AgriLife Extension here, and probably the city would like to help us. But I mean, we can do it also if the board allows to do it, right?
Incredible. Thank you, Alex, for that donation, and for everything that you've been working on in there to help. We're sharing a mission, and we appreciate you thinking of us for this, and for Jose for jumping on the opportunity. So I think on the portion of the compost side, I like that idea of splitting the cost with someone. Of course, I think we'd be open to either way though. And is there something we can do there?
I'm sorry. Yes, as far as the compost, definitely AgriLife could attribute some dollar or some donations from our behalf. What I had spoken to Jose about earlier, or some days back, is if he could provide me with a list of materials that he may need for the garden. As far as the consejo, because right now I could only provide materials to gardens where I'm teaching at. So if he could provide me a list, and we could kind of figure it out from there what AgriLife could help out with.
Great. I think from a board perspective, Guillermo, do we need to vote on it, or is that something I'd be able to authorize myself, or are you aware of the process for what we have on the articles?
If we vote on it as a board, it has to be on the agenda. It's not on the agenda right now, so we can't. But it is something that you can authorize yourself as an action.
Well, another option is if we, well, I have on up to 500, right, to authorize. I can
Okay.
authorize probably
I couldn't remember the threshold that we authorized. So yeah, even better.
can authorize probably 300 or 400, and then we'll get some more from anywhere else,
Perfect.
right?
Yeah, I would be okay with that. Is there any objections from anyone on the board?
I have a request if we could go ahead and I don't know if we need to formalize this too, but it sounds like something that we can also continue that relationship with the Holding Institute is donating our seedlings. So as we propagate for our garden, kind of being able to donate, and if that's something that needs to be approved by the board, just kind of that we can donate extra seedlings to the Holding Institute, if we can add that to the next board meeting, if that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I mean that's the idea. So that would, from our greenhouse, we can start propagating our plants. So
But yeah, that we can keep track of what we're donating to. So like Guillermo said, like that we can show, you know, that if each seedling we're valuing at $4, that we're, you know, donating this much money to local charities. I think that would be really important to kind of formalize and then to track over time. That's just me.
Yeah, we don't have to vote on that, Morgan, because that's part of the mission of LCUAS. So as long as Jose keeps track of what he's donating to, and I think this is probably a very good example on the seedling aspect of LCUAS donating seedlings to start another community garden.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Great. I want to see a photo of those. They sound nice. Would you say redwood cedar? Wow, that sounds. Yeah, it sounds really nice. When you can send me a photo, that'd be great.
Yeah, it was like just the wood itself was like $1,000, and wood is only getting more expensive because of like all the supply issues, and so we managed to get it like a little bit after inflation, but not quite as bad as it is now. And it was still just about over $1,000 for, I think right now we've got 5 beds in total of frame. So it's, I'm sure if you were to buy it right now, it'd be a lot more. Check.
Definitely 4%, right, as of last week increase.
Yeah, and I honestly think that this is a good opportunity to showcase the good work that we have been doing in the past months in the 2 community gardens that we manage. And this is a good opportunity to say, well, we are participating in developing another community garden by doing this. This is our participation here. And
yeah, expanding seed funding, right? Pun intended.
Yeah. As far as my report, that's all I have for you today.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jose. I know we're getting close to the hour. We're already on the line there, so I'm going to quickly move forward to Food Policy Council Partnership Report. Karen?
Hi, sure. And I'll be brief. I first, an update on the meeting from April 29th, I believe. It was a huge success. We had over 30 attendees, and we announced kind of like the timeline that we're expecting. For those who might need a reminder, the point of the Food Policy Council and the role of City Makery will be in facilitating for the next 4 to 6 months the process of the members to come up with a 1, 3, and 5 year strategy plan to address the food needs. So I noticed earlier in the call we were talking about AgriLife's role and how they can help support the mission of LCUAS as well as other important initiatives. So it's just one way in which the Food Policy Council can make those connections between the different players in the city. We have our second meeting today, which will be a Zoom meeting where we invited over 60 people, but we think so far we're like about 30 have confirmed. we'll be breaking them up into breakout rooms, and we have a public drive, a shared drive on Google, where we are putting in the resources as well as the notes and the updates of what we're hearing from the partners, as well as resources from other cities that have implemented food policy councils. So, I mean, stay tuned for more. It would be, I believe I sent the invite to everybody here on the board. So if anybody didn't receive it, feel free to, ping me, and I'll make sure you have the Zoom invite. The more people we have, the more of a fruitful discussion we'll have. Pun intended this time. And the meeting's today at 4. At the next meeting, we'll be having, today we'll be assessing and evaluating the needs of the hunger needs in the city. At the next one, we'll be identifying our goals and policies. For the 4th meeting, we're hoping to go back to an in-person meeting where we'll be able to gather all of the data and information from today and the next meeting, and put them in these boards and develop this kind of cohesive strategy with everybody's input. So if you're able to join us, that'd be fantastic. So we can have a really robust plan moving forward. And that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen. We heard a lot of great things earlier in the meeting, from kind of everyone inputting on what their reception of it was. And so, incredibly exciting to see this community developing the way that it is. And thank you for all of your hard work and what you did for this organization. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
So this was a fantastic meeting, right? I mean, we talked about, grants have been applied to. We have more grants coming in, community donations and collaboration, right? Alec and, AgriLife and just everyone coming in. We have another garden starting up, right, that we're going to be a part of. New produce solution for restaurants, and more. We're working on more volunteers right through the education programs, and we're looking forward to having new members as part of our volunteer community. We have new board members to consider, right? A new structure to see who's going to join us in our mission. We have education courses and the AgriLife collaboration. We had a full board meeting today. We were able to meet quorum. So just thank you all so much. All of your hard work, all of your collaboration, everything that we're doing here. I really feel like we're building momentum. We have been over the last few months, and this is an incredibly exciting point. And I think we can, do whatever we need to do. And I want to just reiterate that we're here to support you in whatever vision you may have for this. And we want to make that a reality. So thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm always available to you. Cheers. Have a great afternoon.
Roger.
With that, I'll adjourn the meeting.
Estamos contigo.